to Living Black Podcast with your hosts,
Ari.
and Nayla. We're so glad to have y'all back for a new episode. In today's episode, we will be reintroducing ourselves and an introduction episode to start out season 2. After a long but well needed break, we are very excited to start filming again. But before we dive in, let's reveal today's question of the day. What is one thing that we did in season 1 that you would like to see us do differently in season 2? This question will be posted on our Instagram story prior to the filming of this episode and for listeners to give their opinions, thoughts, and ideas.
We're going to take a look into, well, actually, we're not going to take a look into what our listeners have to say because we're going to be posting that question after this episode is posted. So now that question of the day is done, and make sure you answer that when we post on Instagram and anywhere else we post. Let's dive into our topics for today. So first off, we want to introduce ourselves again because it's been a while since we've introduced ourselves. And I believe the last time we did that was back in the first week of May and is now ending off in the last 2 weeks of July. So let's get a little refresher. Nayla, you can go first.
Okay, so our first question is our name, where we're from, a fun fact about ourselves, and our role in Living Black podcast. I am Nayla and I am from Atlanta. Yes, I'm a Northside baby. One fact about me is that I am a very shy person until I get to know you and feel comfortable around you. And my role here on Living Black podcast is that I am one of the hosts. I am also an editor for almost all the episodes, and I originally came up with the idea of a podcast because I love talking about my feelings, thoughts, ideas, and experiences, so I thought, why not share that with others?
I'm Ariana, and I'm from Jersey. I'm from the northern part of Jersey. And a fun fact about me is that I love to dance, and I love to have fun, and I love eating. I like trying new foods all the time. And I'm a very big person for vegan stuff, so that's something real fun about me. And my role in Living Black is I'm basically the person that manages most of the social media, and I'm also one of the other hosts. And I also manage a couple other things for Living Black, like I help out with finances and also making sure that we're representing Living Black podcast all the time and also advertising some sort. So that's it for my introduction. And the next question that we have is, what are our hopes or expectations for Living Black?
My hope for Living Black podcast is that we one day get a bigger following, and I hope we can inspire many young and old Black people to speak their thoughts and feelings in a positive way and represent themselves for who they are.
Be who you are for your pride. My hope and expectations for Living Black is also the same thing, but another thing that I want to add is that we expand Living Black into helping out our own communities and, getting everyone to reconnect with each other because the Black community itself has separated from each other due to generational curses and things that have happened within our past that makes us feel like we're different or better than one another. And it's really just something that broke us apart, and we really need to reconnect, especially during times like this where there's police brutality, racism, Karens all over the place. Everything you can think about is an issue, and we need to come together to fight. And there's no other way to get it done.
Yes, that's a very good answer.
Mm-hmm. So our next question is, what do we want our listeners to know about us, the host, or Living Black podcast itself?
So I want our listeners to know that the Living Black hosts are always open to ideas and any feedback because we always want to know and hear what y'all think we could improve on, etc. And I also want y'all to know that this is a safe space to talk about anything, and our DMs are always open on Instagram for anything.
Yes, that is so true. And just so you know, the Instagram account is only ran by the both of us. Nobody else has access to that. So if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you're welcome to post it there or shoot a direct email to our email address. that's in our Instagram bio. And another thing that I want our listeners to know about Living Black is that Living Black podcast is really just a dream that we started off from way back in April. And we're really just building foundation over time. And we recently just found out before we recorded this podcast that we have listeners from Germany. We have listeners in California. We have listeners in Chicago, Detroit, you name it, they're there.
Mm-hmm.
And we're looking to expand to maybe across the whole world so a lot of more people know who we are. And eventually we want to meet up with the mayors of our cities so we can discuss Living Black podcast, and they can also help us get the word out about Living Black, because the mayors, they can certainly do something for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So our next question is, what is our favorite part about hosting or having a podcast so far?
My favorite part about having or hosting a podcast so far is definitely that I can speak my thoughts freely with no judgment. And I love that people find me talking interesting. And I love to talk. And I just love that it's a safe space for me to share my thoughts and ideas.
Yes, I agree as well, because Living Black podcast and just having a podcast in general, it's really fun because you get to like talk about things and discuss with other people topics that, you may be able to talk with your friends. And, with these podcasts or having a podcast in general, you're able to like discuss things and have a purpose in talking about it, and have other people tune into your conversation instead of just like one person just listening. And another thing about having a podcast that is also very like life changing or extraordinary is that it's kind of different from a radio, because you get to experience, and you have more control over what you're talking about. And with podcasts themselves, it's really just a fun experience. And it's really fun that we also got to start this up as 14 and 15-year-olds, because it really, like, I thought podcasts were only able or available to people that were like 18 years or older. But I looked it up, and you don't have to be a certain age to start up a podcast. So that's cool.
Yes, it is.
So our next question was, how and why did we start up Living Black?
So, as I said many times in this episode, I really just started this to speak my opinions and thoughts on many different topics and things. So, it kind of just started like one day I was mad at my mom for something, and I started typing my feelings into my notes, and I was actually texting Ari about it also. And I was like, wait, it would be cool to like start a podcast and talk about these things so I can speak my feelings and speak my thoughts about anything. And that's kind of just how it started.
Yes. Using a podcast as like your little journal or things you want to get off your mind is also perfect, because, it's a perfect pinpoint to like express your thoughts and feelings, and also like make yourself feel better, because, when you start talking about things that are going on in your life, it kind of supports as like a small, like therapeutic moment.
Yes, for sure.
Which is why I also love psychology. That's perfect. But my response to the question is, personally myself, after Nayla contacted me about starting up a podcast, I was like, yeah, let's go for it. Because this is really so funny, but when I was younger, I used to have like an imaginary person I used to talk to, because I don't have no siblings. They're all older than me. So starting up Living Black podcast was like a moment for me to like actually be able to talk to Nayla sister to sister, and also like have other people tune into our conversation and hear our thoughts about things, instead of me like just typing it out to someone or writing it out, or as if I was younger talking to a complete imaginary person.
Yeah, and plus it's like fun to talk. Like, who doesn't like talking?
Yeah, that too. And you also don't have to face people face to face, because when you face people or a bunch of people and just talk to them, I don't know about anybody else, but that kind of like catches my anxiety. But I've kind of like grown over that a little bit.
Yeah, me too. Which is another reason why I like doing podcasts because you don't have to show your face and you don't have to be talking to someone face to face.
Yes, that too. And also having a podcast has grown my confidence like amazingly. At my grandmother's funeral, I didn't think I was gonna be able to like do a full on speech, and surprisingly, I actually got up on the like podium thing and actually did like maybe one of my first speeches in front of a bunch of people.
That's cool. Yeah,
Yeah,
at my grandmother's funeral, I said a Bible verse. So yeah.
yeah. My mother was trying to get me to do that too, but I told her no. So the next question there was, and this is the last question, is are there any tips we have for any future podcast hosts?
For me, I would really just say don't be scared to share your opinions and be confident in your work and have fun. It's always good to have fun and don't be too like stuck up and like don't get too caught into the in the moment to where you're not having fun with like actually filming the podcast.
Yes, that too. Always feel yourself and take breaks when necessary and go with your passions and not what other people say about what you should do. Now, constructive criticism, that's another thing. But when people are telling you how to run something you had a dream for, I don't suggest you listen to them because most of the time they don't know what they're talking about. And if they want to tell you how to run something, then maybe they should get up to go start what they want to do instead of telling
Mm-hmm.
other people.
Yep.
So that's my thing towards that. And also, just be yourself and don't let anybody change who you want to be and what you want to do in life because at the end of the day, you're the leader in the road and not anybody else. You're the driver.
Yes, for sure.
So that completes all of our questions and the introductions for this episode.
So thank y'all so much for tuning into our episode. We are so excited to be back from our break and we hope that you guys enjoyed the episode. We have many more episodes to come in season 2, many interesting topics, and we are excited.
Thank y'all for tuning in to this episode, and we hope you guys follow our social media pages and stay up to date with Living Black Podcast because we have a lot in store for y'all.
Yes, and also we just started a GoFundMe, and that can be found in our Linktree link, which that can be found in our Instagram bio. So make sure to go check that out. And I think that's all we have for today. So bye, y'all. Thanks for tuning in.